Welcome back. It's the space between us. We got our boy Luck. And it's your boy Z. And so today, we got the one and only, the indie dev. We got the SpaceKryptonite, captain of all spaceships, John, our OneBit Adventure creator and developer.
Yes. SpaceKryptonite here.
Yeah. So, pretty much today we're going to tackle, what is OneBit, so you guys, because we've been promoting it every week, so we wanted to let you guys know we did hit 50 subscribes, and this is our delivery to you. So, my first question to you, SpaceKryptonite, what is retro gaming?
So, retro gaming is sort of the aspect of the original game designs. It was a lot of 8-bit style that ended up being its own art style. We thought it was the beginning of gaming, and that ended up staying in the future. So, retro gaming in aspect is bringing old school back to new school. So,
would you say retro gaming is kind of taking over back the gaming industry?
I think retro gaming has this aspect of bringing old school, but at the same time, it makes you think about gameplay mechanics. Everything about retro gaming has always been like, what is the best way to make the user experience awesome? And I think you get to ignore the fancy graphics and spend more time making the game fun. So,
okay. So those of you who haven't checked it out yet, go check out OneBit Adventures. It's a very, again, retro game. Games like the old Pokemon and the Game Boys, this is the same style of game. You get to have a warrior, and there's a lot of different aspects to that.
There's
so when
don't forget the mages.
I'm sorry.
Cancer.
You're right.
And don't forget the ostrich too. The ostrich, you gotta unlock him too.
There's an ostrich? I haven't gotten that far in the game yet. Then
you need to put in some game time, guy. So when it comes to OneBit, what was the hardest part of actually creating the game?
So, the hardest part about the game, I think, came along after it released. More or less, the bugs that ended up corrupting save files, thankfully, we're out of that stage. But the hardest part was always been, what's the next step? What's the next feature? What should I end up making in the game? And being a solo dev in the game is like, it's really hard. I mean, like you would think, like, let me spend the time doing what the people say, because that'll end up working in the long run, but then you forget all about the new stuff that you could add that you have in the brain. I don't know. The bugs are for sure the worst, and deciding new content. You don't want that backlash, so. Gotcha.
So what I'm hearing is new content, you're adding Z to the picture. Z's hopping on OneBit as his own character.
Yeah,
is what I heard. Yeah, I mean that'd be dope. I'd love to have my own avatar in a OneBit style. His kryptonite is swimming. If you put him in any water, he's dead. Can't swim. But I like it. I think you taking in consideration what the viewers think versus that new content you're trying to push. I think that is an interesting mix on how you're going to tackle that moving forward. And thank God for not having any more bugs.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Definitely the bugs. There's granted a few bugs, but they're not major bugs. But yeah, I think it was, I launched the game in August, okay, and it didn't become the major bug free until like December. Like, it really got to the point where some people were like, hey, I just lost all my save files. Can you give it back? And I'm like, I have no backup. Sorry.
Did you eventually, is there a cloud now?
Yes, there is a cloud system, and fortunately there is a form of backup. So at least it's not game breaking where if someone loses their save file, I can get it back. But yeah, it was really tough time.
In the process of making the choices of what you were going to put in the game, again, this goes back to tying in what was the hardest part. What helped you decide what were you putting in the game and what were you taking out? Because I'm pretty sure you had millions of ideas and you wanted to put as much as you could.
Yeah, I think I really went off the idea of dungeon crawl, and I wanted to create this atmosphere where you can go into a dungeon, have a purpose, and get something out of that experience. More or less, I looked into a lot of old dungeon crawl games and just, I don't know, it's like you're building your own universe in a way, and to me, it takes a toll trying to decide what you want. Like, hey, should we add an ice themed biome or some sort of cave that's a little bit spooky? But in the end, I did have the artist who helped me out with the game, and he has been tremendous. Most of the artwork in the game has been done by a man named Scott Hartill, and he's done a fantastic job giving me this idea and the platform for the cave. So.
All right. So let me get my list of questions.
Yes.
What are the future updates that are coming, patches that are coming to OneBit Adventures?
Z's coming to the game. He's already said that.
He's one playable character.
But besides me, because I'm in this game now, that's my 15 seconds of fame every time you play the game. Just hit my character, you will see a bright shining star, and then you'd have to go somewhere else. But besides me,
Yes.
like updates, what you got?
So, the biggest update is what I'm calling Ascension. I went through phase 1 of Ascension right now, which is expanding to 100 levels. Previously was locked at 50. I was going to make it so that you earn new skills in a different way. So in Ascension, the aspect of you have this guy that you can go to. He will give you sort of progressional jobs, and you can choose your professions. So let's say, for an example, you're a warrior, but you want to experience a mage profession, so you have more magical attacks. Well, there's choices. You might have different paths, but it's sort of like a skill tree, but you have to earn it in a way. So it's kind of interesting to see, and I think it'll help the long-term players kind of find out different builds, I should say.
Would you ever think about throwing it in co-op? Is there going to be a co-op mode for the game anytime soon?
Yeah, I get this a lot, and it might sound easy because it's more or less, add someone to join you on your adventure. But since it is turn-based, it's really hard to say for sure it's going to be a thing. If anything, it would be its own separate category because it would have to be real-time. Like, you can still move in a somewhat turn-based fashion, but in the end, it has to be real time where, your action, my action, we're going to affect the enemy, but at different times. So for now, not a thing in OneBit Adventure, not going to be, but if it was in the future, it would be a separate title.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I definitely understand that, the turn aspect, because at least with the old Pokemon, like, if you had to, like, co-op it,
Yeah.
it was real time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was very tough to actually perform this type of game in real time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think co-op is something that will be like a revolutionary piece to it, just because my warrior is way stronger than Lucky's.
Yes.
So I might be able to carry the team and be the GOAT of the day until,
yeah.
he gets on his feet.
He's not telling you that I never use my skill tree points. I go in there all natural, no steroids, no nothing.
Because he didn't read the manual.
Okay, who actually plays the tutorials to games?
Me. Why? So you know how to function correctly. But again, I think that real time aspect is something that is tricky, especially because it's a turn-based situation. But going back to the artist, so I know in the game there is one specific monster that every time I hit them, they like stun me and I fly back like 6 spaces.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah. So what was the the imagination and like reason behind that guy?
Well, at the time, I brought these enemies out in bundles. So the first bundle came, the strongest character throughout the first generation was Reapers. And they're still in the game, but they've got nerfed to the point where you don't see them until you pass 5,000 steps. And that was because I needed someone to be a difficult character that people would be like, holy crap, not this guy again. So after I released the second bundle of enemies that included like the Cyclops, which is the guy you're talking about, the long-range mage that can attack anyone over barriers and stuff. So it was more or less, I wanted to bring enemies that would be like a troll, but not too much to the point where you can't avoid them. You kind of experience it at first, and you're like, holy crap, this guy just perma-stunned me into a wall, and now I'm about to die. It's kind of those experiences where you're like, okay, now I know, let me avoid this guy, or let me have enough damage to like one-shot this guy. So But yeah, no, it was definitely in the lines of making the game fit for casual. I mean, you can play it in the beginning and not have much troubles, but strong in the end game where people actually find strategies. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
How many generations are you into the game right now?
I would say currently it's into Generation 3 is going on. By generations, I mean like when I have major updates that affects the game. Gen 1 was mainly when we had, like, I believe, 9 enemies, no weapons, no equipment. So literally you were like lucky during Generation 1. And that was August to December. Now we're in Generation 2 leading to 3. And 3 is going to be when you have new skills, more variety of different things. So yeah, I'm planning on probably 2 more generations before I can call it done.
Gotcha. Okay, so hashtag no free balling in Generation 3.
Yeah, basically.
Make sure to put on armor plate. I didn't know. I just thought you had to go to the wizard guy and he had to like put stuff together and then you can put it on. I didn't know you can just go in the settings.
He didn't know that he could put his own clothes on. I don't know.
You know, that one leg at a time Lucky struggles with.
I was told to go into the cave and go get some stones and then you can put the armor on. That's what I was told.
Okay, so now that you're alluding to the stones, what are the reasons behind the stones?
Yeah,
like,
what are the reasons behind this?
because there's 2 types of stones you can get in the cave. The cave 3.
Yeah, 3.
I've only gotten 2. I've gotten a lot of 2 stones.
You should have quartz, amethyst, and apatite. So
Okay, you're right.
yes, it's 3.
Right.
Yeah, yep. The purpose of the stones, they're still somewhat lacking in diversity. They go based off your upgrade options. So the first one on your upgrades are always the same stone type, I should say. And the third slot is always going to be amethyst, which is the rarest. This was to make it so that you can't have all the upgrades be done with just one resource. You kind of have to be like, oh crap, I need that other resource. Let me go back into caves. So, but yeah, as far as going into the caves, that was the purpose. Trying to get it to upgrade your weapons, upgrade your armor. And then going on to the next cave, which was the Cthulhu. If you reach the end of the Cthulhu, you get these adventure buffs. So let me not try to dive too much into the mechanic, but there's a purpose for, going to specific caves. And you'll find out that you don't need the Cthulhu cave later on in the game. You can just ride it out. Mm-hmm.
But if I were to get the buffs, how long will the buffs last for?
Oh, yeah, that lasts the whole adventure. So you can go in the beginning, get your 3 buffs, and just never go in there and fight Cthulhu. So it's an option. But of course, when you end the adventure, that's when you're back to square one with no buffs.
Okay, so when you start over a new adventure, you don't have your buffs anymore.
You completely lost it. Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it then.
Hey, I mean, in hindsight, I mean, it teaches you strategy. Then if you're going in the caves and you're like, okay, well, last time I went in the cave, I went, straight through, didn't really attack anybody, and I got destroyed at the end. Where it's like, if you're getting XP and you can actually like build up your guy until you get to the end, then I mean, it might be able to, that might actually.
Yeah, and of course, there's buffs that actually help you out in the long run. 50% stun reduction. Like if you get the adventure buff, you deal less of the Cyclops stunning you to a wall. So,
hey, you got.
There you go. That's your problem.
Need that one. I gotta cop that one. That one's one for the bag.
He was bugged one point when he released, was like perma-stun all the time.
So you couldn't even move.
You couldn't even move.
Oh.
Yeah, like you just hit the wall.
Over.
Done. You just died.
Well, how long did it take for you to find out about that bug?
That was pretty quickly.
You found out on yourself, or you found out through the community?
No, I found out everyone on Discord was like, guys, I don't think this is normal. I'm just dying constantly. Like, I know he needs to be hard, but dang.
Okay, so when we talk about the rapid ascent of OneBit, right? How were your initial thoughts, like thinking about, okay, this game, I'm creating it, I know it's gonna have bugs, I'm gonna tackle those bugs as they come in. How has the community actually affected your way of developing a game?
Good question. It makes me look at what's important, and as far as quality of life, to understand where in development cycle should I go on and add these features. Because in the community of Discord, which I do have like a branch of people to contact me directly and tell me, hey, I think we should add this in the game, or hey, I keep dying to this. Can you fix this? So I think it's really been helpful and making my job easier in a way. When I first developed the game, like I said, when I started development, I believe it was like May of 2019. So it's been it's almost a year for OneBit Adventure. But throughout the development phase, the early development, you don't realize a lot of bugs because I was doing it solo and just figuring out how to make the game work. And then when it released, that's when I was like, oh crap, now I kind of wish I had people to play the game, So, but yeah.
So you believe in beta testing now after your first...
I think no, that was the funny part. I have Eddie, the bug tester. He does a lot of bug testing, and he kept on telling me, "Yeah, I think we should do some sort of beta. Have people play it before it releases." And I was like, "No, it's fine. It's a simple game. Just update it." And that's how I got majority of the bugs till December. So yeah, no, open beta testing I've been doing in Google Play recently, and that's been helping out with no game-breaking bugs and exploits. So,
gotcha. So hashtag beta for the win.
Beta for the win.
All right. So all you frat boys and girls, beta test. Always got a beta test. But yeah. So okay. So that community does help you. So when we talk about, like you said, the open beta testing, is that going to be available for certain people? Like, are you going to send out certain,
Oh, it's actually available on the Google Play. So if you do have, an Android, you're able to go to the OneBit Adventure on the store, and if you scroll down, it should say "Join in as a beta tester." So it's open to everyone, and I don't expect everyone to jump into the Discord because I only have that on the website, which I should somewhat do for them. But they still file bug reports, so that's always an option.
So do you read the reviews more on app stores, or would you prefer them to contact you through Discord?
That's one thing I think. Funny story with the reviews, because it changes a lot of the aspects of the game. It first had ads, like you could revive with ads, but then a lot of reviews came in saying, "Oh, why do I have to revive for ads?" And I was like, "It's free. Just wait 15 seconds, you revive." Other people thought, that's a cheap way to, continue the game. So a lot of the reviews in the Google Play Store did shape the game. But nowadays, it's more in the Discord community. Like, so far, a lot of reviews that are bad is into the lines of new features, new content, more stuff to play. So I don't get much as I did before. So yeah, if you weigh it out, it's really about the Discord community. Mm-hmm.
So, see, he's a man of the people. He had ads on there. The people didn't like the ads, and he got rid of them for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag indie dev for
Yeah.
Indie dev for president.
Oh, wait, hold on.
For president.
I didn't sign up for this.
Hey, I mean, you got, about 30 years, and you can go for it. So you got to build your following now.
Yes. I will make all my one-bitters vote for me now.
All right, so now moving forward, there's a 1-bit. Are you going to jump at all to a 2-bit or any, variation off this game, or are you going to go to a completely different project?
Yeah, so I do get asked this a lot, and 2-bit Adventure, it's too early, I should say. I mean, I'm not even done with 1-bit yet, and people are asking about 2-bit. But the initial aspect of 2-bit is more pixels, double the pixels, double the color, and it would be a thing probably next year. It's not even in development, not even in planning, but yeah, 2-bit Adventure, I would say there's a possibility in the future.
So would you say 2-bit Adventure is going to come out next year, or development is going to start for 2-bit Adventures next year?
I would say development will start next year. I do have plans for a 1-bit story. As far as everything in 1-bit Adventure, I know it seems kind of like random. You're just guy that just goes straight into the wilderness and you're just fighting enemies. There's no purpose right now. But I can tell you there is a story behind it. and that is going to be a separate title. Separate title for OneBit called OneBit Story. You can expect that sometime in fall, and that will be a little mini series. So,
Ooh, is that breaking news?
Breaking news! Breaking news today. That's. I haven't told anyone yet. OneBit Story will be a thing, and that will.
You heard it here first. On the space between us, you've heard it. Coming, #fall after quarantine. It's coming. And you heard it here first.
OneBit Adventure Stories.
OneBit Adventure Stories.
So, like, can we get our hands on it first?
Can we beta test then? I mean, like we can have a whole cast beta test, and we can give you.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see about it. It's not in development yet.
Okay.
It is going to be in development in the summer, and then leading on to fall is where it's going to be sort of its releasing point.
So a quick turnaround then?
Yeah, it's not going to be a full-flesh, I should say a full-flesh 12-hour game. I really wanted it to be more of explaining the scenario and getting the game into the aspect of why are you a person going on an adventure, you know? Okay. But yeah, a little hint is the OneBit logo does have the story, and it's been there the whole time, but you just can't see it. That's the story.
I can't see it.
You can't see it.
So you're finding your purpose with the OneBits.
Yes.
Gotcha. So again, if we're gonna go off purpose, the purpose of this game right now is to go into the wilderness. Correct?
Yes.
So when you're in the wilderness, I mean, you have to strategize. You have to think, if you are free balling like Lucky, how do you not get killed? So it's like, you're not getting killed, you're, adding more steps to your pile, and then you're still leveling up and getting all of your powers, I guess. Yeah. So with OneBit Story, you said pretty much the purpose of that one is to explain what's going on, more so?
So I will say it's not going to be specifically the same mechanic. Okay. It will be a different mechanic. I'm not going to go into details on it.
Gotcha.
It will still be strategy based. It's going to be a different genre, but it'll still have that OneBit feel to it. So.
All right. So making the game, did you expect the things to turn out the way you wanted it to? Yeah,
this was kind of a scary thing because I actually went into OneBit Adventure thinking I wanted to. Well, I hurt my back at work, and I decided, I want to make a game and get back into trying to make something that is public. People can play it and spend money on. But initially, it was just. I don't know. It was just out of the moment. I wanted to bring back the old school days and just.
You weren't playing Pac-Man, Galaga. It just came to you all of a sudden.
No, let me get to it. I wanted to go back into the days of bringing those old school games, but another game that I did play was Pixel Dungeon, and this was free to play, and it was an open source game. And I was thinking about how simple it is to play, but I wanted to also make a sprinter, something that you can continuously go, and it came to the point where I downloaded this free asset pack to try to make the game, and that's when Scott actually came out and reached to me. He's actually a friend of mine's in Europe, and me and him played Robocraft together. And we eventually got to the point of making this game together, the art asset, and how it was going to play. And from then on, I don't know, it just clicked together. So
cross-continental content, I love it.
Even have reached all the way in Europe.
Mm-hmm. There's surprisingly, I think there's more people that know me in Europe than in the U.S.
There's a lot of space between them. So welcome to the show, my guy. Mind blown. So go ahead, you got it.
So one of my favorite things that I wanted to know if you had an idea of this was it counts your steps for you, how far you get in the game, and then you have a leaderboard for it. was that always intentional, or did you add it in so people can compete against one another?
Yeah, so I really wanted it to have the form of competition so that people can be like coming back and just a week later and try to get rewarded for it. So yeah, it was intentional. I wanted to fill in the gap. If it was going to be a casual but also competitive, I wanted it to have both people be able to enjoy and still compete. So it doesn't affect everyone. I mean, it's out there. You can try to compete. There's a lot of competitive people, but yeah, it's definitely.
So, what's 2 questions? What's your highest step count in the game, on your own game, and with your competition? With you adding competition, you ever think this game will hit esports?
Such a random question.
Straight up, just straight to esports. You know,
No, it's not going to esports. I doubt people would go that crazy over it, but no, my highest step count was probably only in the few thousands. I haven't beat anyone's score like legitly.
You beat Lucky's score.
He said only in a few thousands.
That's pretty low.
Wow.
No, that's low. But funny thing. Okay, one day I was just editing and trying to test the game out, find its limits. At one point, I accidentally went 100,000 steps by I'm editing stuff, and I actually saved it to the leaderboard. Someone reported it and was like, someone's cheating, and I was just like, yeah, I'll take that down real quick. And I looked at it, I was like, wow, that's my own name. But thankfully now I make everything offline for myself, so I don't end up freaking people out.
All right, and so it was a no to the esports, which is pretty sad because I mean it is competitive. So it's like what if we did like a G League for the esports? Like it was OneBit sport.
Yeah. Like exactly, there should be a retro gaming convention for esports. Yeah. Like that should be a thing, and if that's the thing, OneBit Adventures should definitely be part of it because they have the competition for it, and clearly have the community for it.
Yeah, no. Maybe when we reach 1 million installs, we're already only a quarter. We already have over 200,000 installs.
Okay.
So maybe 1 million. We'll add a ranking system and have an esports competition.
Ranking system.
Yeah.
Just imagine going just logging into OneBit and you just see the leaderboard and the guy has the highest armor and the highest sword. And it's just like, wow, what am I supposed to do against that?
You gotta compete. High elo.
Mm-hmm. That's all. It's game time.
Would you ever have a soft reset on characters or no?
Soft reset as in just starting off straight to level 1?
Yeah. Or would you give or actually no, you don't have to because you can just create a new character, right?
You can create a new character, yeah. Why not? And they're not expensive. I mean, they're only a couple thousand coins, but you find that pretty easy. So. Mm-hmm.
So with the actual gameplay, so it only counts steps forward, right? Why was that your initial all right, we're making sure we're doing this? Was that more so people can be honest with the actual steps they're getting? Because I mean, let me tell you, I was maybe 15 minutes into the game when I caught it, and I was like, yo, I'm not getting steps when I go laterally or back for something. So what was the initial game plan behind only tracking steps forward?
So the initial point was to make it fair. Obviously, the further you go, the harder the enemies get, but also the better the loot. So in reality, I wanted to make it fair, but also not exploitable. So if someone could macro key it and end up being like, oh, I got 10,000 steps being in the same spot, that would be a problem, So stuff like that was it was simple and straightforward because I made the game so that you can keep going up and it'll just generate next level after next level. So. Mm-hmm.
All right, and then I guess I would have a follow-up question. What's up with all the locked doors? So many locked doors.
Wait, to add to that question, what's up with the empty chests?
Yeah, I mean, I guess empty chests work because it's just are you really gonna come here and
not when you fight a monster though, and I'm like, I need that chest. I just got done fighting this dude.
But you've been getting smacked by this monster. But yeah, so again with the locked doors, it's I know at least in the beginning, you'll find a key. but then it's like, do you have to be really selective with which door you open? Like, what is the pattern behind knowing which door to open?
I'm gonna tell you a secret. No one can know about this except for whoever's watching. But I don't publicly say it. I mean, people have found out. There's these enemies called the mimic chests. Have you seen them before?
No.
Mimics? You have not seen a mimic before. Get out of here.
No, that mimics chests or like mimics the trees.
Mimic chests. No, what you're thinking about are evil trees. Those
okay.
blend in as trees. There's
Right.
there's a thing called mimic chests. Those chests are actually more noticeable, and they're also behind locked doors. So if you find a room with 6 different chests or more, those are mimics in there. If you enter that room, you have a higher chance of finding keys. Guaranteed, because those mimic chests have a chance of being a regular chest. So, in reality, you will spend 1 key, maybe find 3, maybe find 4, and just multiply like that.
So only use your key.
Only use your keys
if there's more than 1 chest.
If there's more than 2.
More than 2.
Because sometimes there's 2 chests, but only if there's more than 2 chests, because that means there's mimics there. And that's how people have been like, okay, I'm going to strategize and get my keys only opening those doors.
Gotcha. Okay, because I open up every door.
Same, unless it says I can't, and I go, wow.
Yeah, strategize with your keys, because then you can increase. I mean, people have hundreds of keys lying around, as far as the people I know, but it really is decision making. And it's rare. It's not all the time. You're not gonna find it all the time, but it'll help out.
What's with the empty chest though?
Man.
Yeah, man. I had one game,
I think
one adventure. Every chest I opened, the first 6 of them empty. I'm like, what?
That was just a joke. I just really wanted a secret achievement where you can find an empty chest and be like, oh, someone was there. And that ended up being a thing, so I just left it.
Okay. Why do they spawn so much? It's so depressing.
You're just not lucky, that's all.
Luck is not lucky. That's crazy.
Not at all.
All right, so any parting words? Like, we're going to wrap this up. Anything you want to say to your viewers for the future?
Any other future projects other than 2-bit?
Or OneBit Story?
Oh yeah, other than 1-bit Story and 2-bit Adventures, is there any future?
Yeah, I'm working on this one very simple voxel game, and it's not going to be something I'm going to be promoting, only because it's really simple game, and I'm just trying to test the waters as far as what quick and easy games I can make on the side that isn't as complicated or as complex. And this game is just been in development for about a week, so
Another breaking news.
another breaking news.
Only a week old. This is only a week old.
Only a week old, but it might even release in a matter of a month, and give or take, we'll see how that game goes. But like I said, not gonna be like too crazy on it. It's just gonna be like, okay, try this game out. If you guys like it, I'll add more updates. If not, that's okay. But yeah, another thing, surprise, is I did add a promo code for you guys. If you haven't tried it, Space Between Us gives you 100 diamonds. So
You heard it here first. Wow. It's the space between us giving you 100 diamonds. That's a lot of loot in the game. You're gonna need it every time you die.
Yeah, especially lucky.
Especially lucky who free balls in the game.
I'm gonna break my steps. Okay, I've never broke more than 117 steps. I died before that.
Yo, he trash. He hot garbage at OneBit.
But I'll get up there. I'll get to your level. We don't know where Z's at. He's probably a pretender.
Hey, no faking in my game. We finna.
Clearly. All right, so SpaceKryptonite, thanks for being here with us.
Thank you.
You guys know promo code. Heads up. Subscribe. We out.